It is almost time to go racing for the third running of the Open Wheels 500, but to do that first, we must set the field of 33. This weekend marks Open Wheels 500 qualifying, and we welcome you back to RaceSpotTV for your 2022 qualifying draw. Delighted to have your company here. My name is Arjuna Kankipati, the president of OpenWheels.com, as well as a broadcast director and commentator of RaceSpotTV, and I am so honored to get underway with these festivities. Let's take a quick look at the schedule before we talk a little bit more about how this draw is going to work and how the qualifying this weekend will play out itself. Of course, we're just coming off the first running of the Open Wheels Grand Prix, and what a success that was. Adam Crane taking the victory on the Yard of Bricks, but today we focus on the ovals. This weekend, pole day and bump day, all live here and exclusive on RaceSpotTV. Join us at 10 a.m. Eastern, all the way through 6 p.m. Eastern for uninterrupted coverage of your qualifying schedules. Of course, on day one, the pole position winner will be locked into the field, but by the end, on Sunday, November 13th, we will have the 33 locked in for the third running of the Open Wheels 500 mile race. With that said, though, let's talk a little bit about qualifying, and I will say hello to you here on RaceSpotTV. 2 days of qualifying, only 3 guaranteed runs, and there's pressure on the line. That is the story of Open Wheels 500 qualifying. Almost 80 drivers lined up in the field, not all of them going to be drawn in this qualifying draw that we will have in just a few moments' time. The way this will work is drivers have been allowed to elect into groups 1 or 2. Group 1 will run from 10 a.m. through to about 1 a.m. 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and after that we will focus on group number 2. They will run through from 1 p.m. through 4 p.m. and after that the track is opened to everyone after the guaranteed runs have been completed. Drivers get an out lap, a warm-up lap, and then they start their 4 flying attempts before they put the lap times onto the board. If they have an attempt already classified as part of the qualifying scoring, drivers can elect to head back out onto track. However, each time they do, they withdraw their previous times. And as we saw in 2020, Matt Pavelski went out for a glory run in round number 2. Didn't go so well. The pressure was on in the final stages of pole day, and he very much did deliver. Right here, I have a hat, and inside we can see a bunch of numbers. This is qualifying group number 1. We're going to give a little bit more of a shake to it to add to what I've already done, and then one by one we will start to work through this qualifying draw. And who is going to go first on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern? It will be the number 69 who will roll out onto track. We'll try and get the lighting to show you there. So Gavin Smith, the rookie out of Michigan, representing Skowers, will take to the track at 10 a.m. Eastern to get us underway with the Open Wheels 500 qualifying session. We'll see exactly how it will turn out for Gavin Smith in his Skowers entry. I'll give us a few moments' time, having a few technical issues as I try and fix things on my end. That is not Tyler Maxson behind the scenes having any sorts of issues. Driver number 2 will be in the 419. They will roll off at approximately 10:05 a.m. Eastern. That will be Rashad Craig in the Indy Alliance Racing machine, representing Ohio. He will run out second out onto the track. Then third, let's see who will be picked. Make sure I get a good random number. It will be the number 10. The Hyperstar Brendan Lichtenberg will roll out third in the first part of our qualifying session. Of course, Brendan Lichtenberg, a former top split winner in the iRacing Indianapolis 500, qualified in 5th back in 2020. Let's see what he can do representing Team I5G. On the bottom of your screen, you will see a qualifying order run through. In 4th position, we will see the number 76 take to track. That will be Mitch Welker, who had a very impressive run this past weekend in the Open Wheels Grand Prix. What can he do this time on the ovals in the All-American iRacers with Project 2, number 76. Next up will be the 313 of Dylan Freckleton, who, as an independent entry, is always one to watch. Got into the field just on the final row of the 33. out of the UK. What will he be able to do? The 198 will roll out 6th in group number 1. I apologize that you cannot really read these numbers. It will be Nagisa Yoshikawa, one of the many Team Watson Racing entries in the field and one of a number of rookies as well. He'll roll out 6th in group number 1. We'll keep it rolling, and next up will be the number 66. Our 2019 Open Wheels 500 winner and our 2020 pole position winner, Michele Costantini out of Italy, will represent the Apex Racing team with Team i5G, and hopefully no drama on pit lane this time for Michele. Next up, it will be the number 12. I hope you can read these, by the way, guys, and hope you are enjoying watching along. Joshua Tucker, again, one of our Team Watson Racing cars, another one of our rookies, but the Iberian sure to be one to watch in the field. So we've drawn the opening 8, and next up it will be number 16. Jacob Oster, the Worm Man, will be one more of our i5G entries in our field here today. Of course, we've seen his speed not just in the iRacing Indianapolis 500 when he was part of the 3-wide moment for the race lead, but in the Lionheart IndyCar and Speedway Series as well. What can Jacob Oster do? And next up, the number 15 of Craig Hawkins will roll as the 10th car in group number 1. The Bethel SimSport car qualified 57th in 2020. Will he be able to go a little bit further? These are the 2020 positions, by the way. I am looking at your chat messages as I can, and Jacob Oster is already trying to get into the qualifying queue. Next up, and rolling 11th, it will be the 118 in our Group 1 session. 118, of course, is going to be Eric Hodel in his second appearance in this Open Wheels 500. 53rd back in 2020. Another one looking to work his way forward in what is bound to be a competitive field. Next up, the 45 machine of Nate Stewart, who did not compete in 2020, however, was part of our field in 2019. Now that is not being updated. He will be part of the All-America's iRacers, will the 45 machine, along with the likes of Matt Hollabo and Evan Adams. So that's through 12. And next up is the number 6. Shane Coogan in the Team GDC with race first entry, another one of the drivers that we've seen excelling in our Lionheart Speedway Series, and of course out of Indiana, the rookie will be looking for some great results. Well, it was bound to happen eventually. The King of the Bricks was waiting for when he will roll. Brandon Traino will roll in 14th position. So much success for Brandon Traino at this track. However, he is a rookie in the open wheels field. What will he be able to do? Definitely one to watch when it comes to qualifying on Saturday. Behind him, and with lots of pressure, will be the 54 of AJ Musselman. Was registered in 2020, however, did not have a qualifying attempt registered. Not classified as a rookie for this race, but AJ definitely someone to watch. And now I think the second, of our Indy Alliance Racing entries. Down to the last handful in group number 1. And next up is going to be the 53 of Alexis Newsom, another one of our Team i5G entries and the 2021 Lionheart Speedway Series champion. Alongside Jacob Oster and Christian Steele, was 3 wide on the final lap at Indianapolis in May. What will she be able to do? Was odds on for victory until those cycles of cautions at the very end of the race. So I think we have 4 more names to pick from. Next up is another i5G driver. It's Christopher Demerit, or as I have dubbed him, Outside Chris, who seems to have a knack of finding a way on the outside line. 3rd back in 2020 on the outside of the front row. What can he do in 2022? Brian Carey will be up next, the Canadian in the number 79. Will be 18th, in group number 1 out of Powerslide Motorsports. The first of our Powerslide Motorsports drivers, but is a rookie in this field. Behind him is going to be Adam Crane, our Open Wheels Grand Prix winner this past Saturday. Comes in with lots of confidence. What will the Canadian be able to do? And it leaves just 1 in group 1. and it is the number one. Hugo Olsen returns to defend his crown and will be the final car in Group number 1 qualifying, with 20 drivers now drawn in our Saturday pole day qualifying session. We're going to step aside here on RaceSpotTV for a handful of moments time. We'll be back with Group 2 qualifying draw to line up the initial guaranteed runs for pole day qualifying. Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and ready to draw another 25 or so drivers for the second part of your Open Wheels 500 qualifying this coming Saturday for pole day. Group 1 is already locked in, and it will be your defending race winner Hugo Olsen who will line up at the very tail end of that first qualifying group. Of course, they will run estimated from 10 a.m. Eastern all the way through 1 p.m. Eastern. Of course, stay tuned on the Open Wheels social media for more news. My name is Arjuna Kankipati, the president of OpenWheels.com, as well as your broadcast director and commentator here at RaceSpotTV. I've got Tyler Maxon behind the scenes helping me out for this one. So let's dive down into this one with about 25 names ready to go in group number 2. We've got the handy hat ready to go. Of course, themed appropriately, if you will. We'll give it a good old mix-up first before we get going, and then we will start to pull once again for this qualifying draw. So first in group number 2, the number 59 of Evan Adams in the All-American iRacers machine, qualified 40th back in 2020. Can he go a few steps further with a few more teammates for company as well? So now in second, in the second group, it will be the 107 that will roll out behind Evan. That's going to be Hamilton Akabuze, the privateer entry. Another one of our rookies in what is a big rookie class, or fighting for the Rookie of the Year honor. Make sure to note that down. Next up, the number 2, the Steely Rocket Machine, and your defending iRacing Indianapolis 500 winner, Christian Steele, will roll third in group number 2. A rookie in the event. What is he going to be able to do? And of course, yes, despite it not showing on the ticker, he is indeed a winner. Next up behind him, a veteran, Henry Bennett, will roll in the British Racing Green Powerslide Motorsports number 7. 23rd back in 2020. Powerslide had a rocket ship of a car, the best car in the field, in my unbiased commentator's opinion. Henry Bennett was able to work his way forward at times. Next up will be the number 19. Phil Kraus, on course to become the 2022 Lionheart IndyCar Series champion. Plenty of confidence on the side of Phil Kraus. Let's see what he can do after grabbing pole back in the month of May. That will be Phil Kraus, and now behind him will be the number 44 in the second of the private label T-Type entries, Connor Harrington. Recently relocated from New York to Florida. Will be a rookie in this event, but definitely will be one to watch. And then the 74, Phil Kraus's main rival across the last handful of years, Adam Blocker in the Powerslide Motorsports entry, currently in Argentina along with the team at Juncos Hollinger Racing, representing IndyCar there. He's been competing in the sim world against Agustin Canapino on site as well. I've been hearing it's been a fun little tussle. Blocker will be 7th. Behind him, Marshall Stanley, 45th back in 2020, but back with a vengeance in that Vortex Sim Racing entry. Someone that you can always see live on RaceSpotTV on a Sunday in the Classic IndyCars series. That will be Marshall Stanley. Behind him will be, if I can actually pick a name out of this hat, because these are rather hard, the number 97, another Powerslide Motorsports driver, is Alexander Van der Sant. That will find his way into the 9th spot in group number 2. Another one of our quote-unquote rookies in the field, but I tell you what a stacked rookie class it is. Van der Sant's teammate Malechka, one to watch in that equation as well. 10th then in group number 2 will be the hopefully not unlucky number 13. That will be Rodrigo Franzoni, the BK Racing Brazilian entry. Of course, no qualifying in 2020, but Franzoni was part of 2019, and it will be great to have Rodrigo back in the field. Then 11th, we pull the number 8, Matthias Strauss, Scandinavian, out of the Team Watson Racing camp. Will be 11th in group number 1. Another one of our rookies. So far we are 11 cars, by the way, into group number 2. Let's continue working our way through with Matthias Strauss in 11th. The 37 machine of Alex Martin, Agent Inc. Racing out of the Midwest. Be very interesting to see what one more of our entrants working almost by himself will be able to do, but I always look at Dylan Freckleton as a shining example of what you can do with limited resources. Next up, the number 49, Seb Alexander. Another one of our Indy Alliance Racing and part of the Scandinavian contingent, looking to put their mark on the Open Wheels 500 in the same way that Marcus Ericsson did, of course, in the month of May. A lot of those drivers were able to celebrate with Marcus recently as he made his way over to his native land. David Graybill in the number 5 entry will be 14th in the second group. The Skowers driver has a few teammates in the field. That's now 14 cars drawn here today. Speaking of teammates, well, somewhat teammates, it's the 63 of Andrew Marquez, who will be the 15, representing Alcantech NHR with Skowers. Marquez now representing that Alcantech NHR team, of course, also in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. You saw his speed in Richmond earlier this year in our Monday night iRacing IndyCar Series broadcast. The 58 of Tyson Landis in the Brent Marks Racing Sim Team. Number 58 will be 16th in this group, qualified 51st back in 2020. Next up, the number 20, Matt Hollabo. 18th back in 2020. the best of the All-American iRacers entries. And of course now he has a few more friends, and maybe we'll have Mitch Welker and Evan Adams, to work with in the race itself. Just a handful more to go through. It is the number 70 that is up next. Cesar Cabral for Team Watson Racing will be behind Hollabo. Another one of those Team Watson Racing entries. Then it goes to the 33 of Craig Forsyth, a rookie in this event, but no rookie when it comes to the IndyCar. We've seen him across the gamut of Lionheart sanctioned competitions. Great to have Craig joining the field for the qualifying this coming weekend. So final handful of cards in this hat. Next up it will be the number 52 of Kevin Birrell with Distinct.gg, one of our competitors in the Open Wheels Grand Prix, to get involved in some of our Turn 1, Lap 1 shenanigans, maybe through no fault of his own. We'll see exactly how qualifying goes for him. Next up, the 738 of David Soranzo, a privateer out of France. Back in the field after missing out in 2020. So that is David Soranzo. And now two more, not Alexis Newsom. I was getting myself all confused. It will be the 62 of Stefan Larkamp. That will be penultimate of the guaranteed runs in the Alcantech NHR number 62. And it leaves just one more, the Powerslide Motorsports number 14 of Andrew Kinsella, who will line up 23rd in group number 2, 21st back in 2020. And that will line up our guaranteed entrance with no more names in the hat. So join us this coming weekend for Open Wheels qualifying. Saturday, it's all about locking in pole position. Sunday, it's about locking in the field of 33. The coverage begins here live on RaceSpotTV around 10 a.m. Eastern, so make sure that you join us for that. For everyone at Open Wheels, for everyone at RaceSpotTV, for Tyler Maxon, and for myself, Arjuna Kankipati, thank you for joining us for this special presentation of the Open Wheels qualifying draw. We'll see you for the rest of the month of November as the Open Wheels return rumbles on.